Welcome to our conversations on active listening and communication, where we explore the intersections of faith, understanding, and community. Today, we're diving into a powerful and often underappreciated skill. That skill is listening with curiosity and not judgment. I am Shirley Farrar, and this is Encouragement on Fire. Welcome. So thank you for allowing me to have your ear for just a moment. In a world that often feels divided, it can be easy to fall into patterns of assumption and judgment when interacting with others, especially those with differing viewpoints. But today we're going to explore how genuine curiosity can create deeper understanding and stronger connections. Let's start by reflecting on the concept of listening and genuine interest. It's easy to approach conversations with predetermined notions or biases, but there's a beautiful freedom in allowing ourselves to listen without the pressure of needing to agree. There's a scripture in James 1:19 that says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." That verse reminds us that there's an order to it all, and we should be quick to listen. Listening is often the first step in fostering healthy conversations. Secondly, we should replace assumptions. So, how do we go about replacing assumptions with genuine interest? One way is to approach discussions with an open mind, framing our thoughts with questions rather than conclusions. Listening is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Would you be willing to practice to have better communication? When we encounter someone with a viewpoint significantly different from our own, our first instinct may be to defend our position. Hmm. But instead, we can ask ourselves, what's our perspective? Hmm. But instead, we can ask ourselves, what's their perspective? What is their perspective? What am I missing? Let me tell you about a little bit of experience that I've had recently. I once had a conversation with a friend about a hot topic. It was on politics. And in today's climate, you should know that this can be toxic. But I noticed that instead of listening to understand this individual, I was only thinking about how to rebut their points. How many of you may have done something similar? It's okay if you're going to agree or not agree. No one's around. But this thing happens. And in my situation, when I became willing to ask them to share their thoughts more fully, a whole new depth of understanding opened up. This is the essence of listening with curiosity. Thirdly, there is the process of catching biases. Mhm. Now, let's discuss catching biases that block true listening. Biases can often be subconscious. They're ingrained from our experiences, our culture, and even our media consumption. I've mentioned to my public speaking class that when they create speeches, They should be mindful to keep personal bias out of it and use facts and data for their argument and for their appeal. To really listen, we need to be aware of these biases. A useful approach is to ask ourselves, what beliefs or stereotypes might I be holding onto that are shaping my understanding of this person's perspective? So now let's go to Proverbs 18:13, which says, to answer before listening, that is folly and that is shame. This speaks to the importance of truly hearing someone before responding. We can't act on assumptions if we want to engage meaningfully. Fourth is the freedom to understand without agreeing. Yes, the freedom to understand without agreeing. Here's the liberating truth. We don't need to agree to understand. Yes, we don't need to agree to understand. The freedom to seek understanding without the weighty pressure of agreement can transform conversations. Try this in your next disagreement. Imagine for a moment, what if we went into every conversation believing we could learn something valuable regardless of whether we ultimately agree? This mindset fosters compassion and opens the door to genuine relationships. And isn't that what we all want? Genuine relationships. There is a story in the Bible. In Acts 8:26-40, Philip listens to the eunuch reading the scriptures out loud before sharing the gospel. Philip asks, do you understand what you are reading? How many of us have thought about that and questioned? This question demonstrates genuine curiosity. Philip didn't assume understanding. He took the time to listen and understand the eunuch's perspective first. Only then did he share his insights. His curiosity built a bridge to effective communication and deeper faith. Fifth is building bridges through curiosity. Building bridges through curiosity involves asking questions that promote understanding rather than conflict. These questions should not have a sarcastic tone, but a genuine tone of interest. So, what does this look like in practice? It's as simple as approaching conversations with one genuine clarifying question. Today, I invite you to try this exercise. Find someone you disagree with. For all of us, that should not be difficult. Perhaps it's a friend, a family member, or a colleague. Instead of preparing your next response, ask them, can you help me understand your perspective better? And then engage genuinely. You'll likely find that it opens up new avenues of discussion and creates an opportunity for meaningful connection. There are occasions when the person will become annoyed. As we wrap up today's podcast, let's commit to embracing this practice of listening with curiosity, replacing assumptions with genuine interest, catching our biases, understanding without agreeing, and building bridges through curiosity can transform our relationships and communities. As we wrap up today's podcast, let's commit to embracing this practice of listening with curiosity, replacing assumptions with genuine interest, catching our biases, understanding without agreeing, and building bridges through curiosity can transform our relationships and in our communities. I challenge you to practice this week a call to action. The next time you find yourself in a heated discussion, take a moment to pause, breathe, and engage with curiosity instead of judgment. Remember, listening well is a form of love. And as we foster understanding and empathy, we'll see our communities strengthen. I'm going to close with Colossians 4:6. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Thank you for joining me today in our continued series on active listening and communication. This particular topic, listening with curiosity and not with judgment. I hope you found these insights helpful. If you enjoyed today's podcast, I hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, share with friends, and also leave me a review. Until next time, keep your hearts open and your ears ready to listen. I'm Shirley Farrar, and this has been Encouragement on Fire. I'll talk to you soon.